edge of the universe, 400 men and women are probing the immeasurable blackness of space. Their leaders are an Earthman with no fear and a stranger with no heart. Travel beyond our time and solar system, into new galaxies, into worlds beyond your dreams. Star Trek, every week, in color.
Oh, hello there. Well, it's Tuesday, November 14th, 3 p.m. Pacific Earth time. That means it's time for Serious Star Trek. I'm your engineer, Dantron, although I'm on the bridge. Engineering really dropped the ball because I didn't have the hallway tunnel crawl like I usually do. But what are you going to do? The strike's over and everybody's celebrating. So the crew is out there doing their thing. The cameraman is tipsy. Let's bring in the boys and talk about everything that's going on in the world of Star Trek and beyond. This is a guy who I've known for so many years. I can't even remember. I barely remember. But every one of them has been fun. You know him. You love him. Captain Fun, Larry Young. Hey, Larry.
Dad.
What's happening, buddy?
94 or 95, I think. Did you have hijinks then?
Though that would have been pre-hijinks. Yeah. So, but I might have worked there. So who knows? Who knows? That's what I mean. There's many
ways. Been a while.
We could have met even before I owned the store.
You know what we can say?
Yeah.
It was the 20th century.
Oh man, that not much makes me feel older than that. Except one guy. Here's a doctor. He's a PhD. He's far beyond me in books and learning, but he's just a young buck. Professor John E. Price, PhD. Hey, welcome, Doc.
Beep boop 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 beep 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 beep.
You got one
of hello there. I was taking some scannings. I was scanning the room. I was taking readings. And apparently it's Tuesday.
It looked like you were doing a level 1 diagnostic.
Yes, I was reversing the Bassard collectors into the manifold.
Are you from so you're from the continent and not the mid-Atlantic? You're Bussard collectors?
Bussard, yes, that's right. That's right. We had our faux gras with the Bussard.
The most depressing thing about the 21st century is like that we all have androids, and this is what like people think of when you think of your android is a dumb phone.
Would you have like would you have data? Like would you go straight up iRobot and have like a data in your house?
I can tell you for a fact I would never do that because I have 8 full-size mannequins in my office. And it fucking scares the shit out of you sometimes. I mean, 2 of them have been there for over 15 years. And 3 times a year I'll be thinking about something else, come around the corner and go, motherfucker, God, I love that.
Yeah. and I assume you're 99% sure they haven't moved on their own.
Yeah, no, they haven't moved on. Nobody has even tried to pull that prank on me, and I hope Walker doesn't see this until he goes to college.
I mean, I don't even think it's a prank. I just think sometimes mannequins decide to, go for a walk.
No, we have a little ghost in our house that moves shit around, and I think it knows that would just wig me out too much.
Yeah.
We actually had a remote controlled doorbell that we had to unhook because its electromagnetic wave would send it off every once in a while.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Is this do you think it's a 49er? It's a person from the Gold Rush?
We believe it is the old lady owner 2 owners ago, who was not cool with everybody being in the house. And then when we added on to the house, she went away because she realized, okay, this is that cool family's house now. It's not mine. I can move on.
Oh, damn, dude.
That's the story that we believe. Richard Starkings, the comic book letterer, was chilling in the house once, and he heard her walking around and flipped the fuck out because he thought I was just telling some kind of stupid story or something. Like, no, man, I told you there's a little thing in our house. And so that one's always funny. Everyone else doesn't care.
Did you know that in the year 1848, San Francisco, the city of San Francisco, only had 500 residents, and then by the census in 1854, they had 1,000 residents. That's the gold rush, baby.
Yeah. San Francisco's killer for that. Like, if there was ever a town that just had my temperament, it's this. Because there's like, you know, the thing is the Vigilance Committee. You know about this? They had sometime around then, post Civil War, but like after the gold rush, it was all just getting crazy. The politics were nuts, and the people went, all right, the elected officials just aren't doing anything. The cops are all in the tank. We're going to form a vigilante committee.
Nice.
And we're just going to fucking be an organized mob, and we're going to wipe all this fucking shit up. And then we're going to just disband and go back to bed because we're not all about taking over. We just don't like this shit. And they did it. It's insane. They just went, if we got to kill a fucking couple of people, that's cool. But I'm still Bob the hardware guy, and I'm done after this. And everybody just went back to their business and went, wow, last Saturday sucked, but that had to happen, huh? And they went on with their fucking lives. And I think that needs to happen in the world.
Interesting.
San Francisco's, it's a boom town, right? Boom and bust. And it's like we're going through them right now. There's always another boom, something building the wave over there.
Manifest destiny. That's what I say. Conquer the continents. Hello, Philo T. Fuzzworth. How are you today?
You know, people don't know he invented the television.
Philo?
Yeah.
In San Jose, I think.
Philo T. Fuzzworth. Yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't know that was a person. I thought it was just a figment of our imagination.
Dumb crap. Sort out the degens, right? Anyway, I feel very Star Trek-y, old school Star Trek-y today. That's why I'm sporting the Exeter badge, which is a real insignia because all the Connies have their own insignias, as we all know.
As we all have proven.
As seen on screen in Star Trek.
As Mike Okuda himself believes.
Right.
So, you know.
That's the ballsy thing about Cooley's thing. Oh, I just ignore the Defiant one because, you know, that doesn't fit my theory. Really? Did Mike Okuda put that on an actual episode of Star Trek? Doesn't that just...
That's how historians work.
Shut you up right
things.
There?
You know, you just ignore things if you don't like it. You know, that's how history works. This scumbag.
Oh, look at this. Right. Hector shows up and goes, "Hey, warms my heart." Letterkenny comes on. Man, just tell me, and I'll get you a fucking poppers. I had to make 6 of them. Walker only wants to keep 1.
Oh man! So speaking of warming the heart, burying the lead, and it leads into Star Trek stories. Is the strike is over? As of last time, it was like, what's happening? My prediction, I think, on the last episode was this is going to drag on forever. It's never going to end. We're barely digging, guys. Get ready for the boycott. Oh well.
It's over.
Yeah, I mean, it gives everybody. Nobody does any work from now until the beginning of the year anyway, and so now it just gives everybody the chill thing to figure out what the actual schedule is. So when you go to work on January 3rd or whatever, you know.
I hope our friend Dave Blass is able to stop being poverty level. I feel bad for him. You know.
How'd you get a bottle of puppers?
I just made them. I got some beers and I washed the bottles out and took the labels off. And there's a place on Etsy that does the labels that are just killer. There's 2 places. One, see, because there are puppers that are real. That's probably what Tony's talking about. But they're only available in Ontario for some, contractual reason. And the label looks just like that, but it says Letterkenny at the bottom. So some of the guys on Etsy have duplicated that label. And so, but that's not 100% prop screen accurate because Letterkenny puppers don't say Letterkenny in the store's logo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the ones, Tony, if you really care, send me a PM and I'll give you the link.
Surprisingly nitpicky for a guy named Captain Fun, but
No, it's not. That's not nitpicky though. That's like and to bring it from Star Trek. Remember when Dr. Pulaski comes in and starts calling Data Data, and he's like, "No, my name is pronounced Data," and she's like, "What's the difference?" And he goes, "Well, one is my name and the other is not." So there's just it's not
there's
nitpick.
attention to detail, and then there's nitpicky.
There's not nitpicks. It's just one's the store-bought can one, and one is the correct one.
Got it. Okay. Well, so
and now I will talk about shirts.
But so speaking of which, that means right there's going to be a new season of Strange New Worlds. You can tell by the thrilled look on Dr. John's face.
Boo!
But we get to bring up Alex Kurtzman, right? Because the reason we know is he says that the strike is over and they're officially back in production, but we get to call him a friggin' guitar stealer, and Eugene Ragasa's basically opposite number, right? Bad guy, I don't know.
Antagonist.
Yeah, whatever
Villain.
Dr. No is. The bad guy.
Bad guy. Villain.
Should we tell that story? We should have Eugene on here to tell this story. What is the fucking thing with Alex Kurtzman stealing your guitar? And I don't even really remember. It was it was this in joke that started that around the time Discovery started, where you and me were going, "Hey, fuck this guy," and the horse he rode in on.
Yeah.
There was a giant hurricane down in Florida where Eugene was doing his nuclear physicist stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody has to evacuate except all the crackheads, and some crackhead broke into Eugene's apartment and stole all the stuff. And because he's a traveling science guy, he's like Dr. Bruce Banner, going from lab to lab, solving what's going right from wrong. He doesn't have a lot of valuable shit, but he had this guitar he really liked. And so somehow, and I think I've got this story pretty much right, that somehow it just went into his head that this fucking crackhead that stole his beloved guitar is obviously the same guy that's fucking up Star Trek for his buddies Larry and John.
I mean, obviously.
And so we just ran with it because that's hilarious. That Alex Kurtzman, in addition to shitting all over Star Trek lives, pop culturally miserable, also like flew into Florida during a giant natural disaster. The express purpose of stealing Eugene's guitar.
I mean, that would be a classic Kurtzman move, right? I mean,
right?
Fucking Kurtzman. What an asshole.
I hate him as much as you guys because doesn't he? Because I'm just getting into Lower Decks, and isn't that under his regime?
Regime, sure, but he doesn't do anything.
Column for him at all, and it's outraged by the minuses, or what's the?
The way I understand it is that he didn't care about Lower Decks when McMahon was pitching it, and then when it started to get big, whoever's running that was already muscling him out into a more administrative thing because it was clear even to the dick suckers like what he was doing to Discovery.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, okay, man, you know how to run TV shows, and that's great. Please keep doing that, but maybe you don't have to rewrite everything into stupidity. Right. That's what I read between the lines.
It's true. He's an asshole.
Both Hector and Big Show are here. They would know if that was true, mostly true about the guitar thing.
It's true. I was running late today, so I did not have a uniform. I'm sorry. Although I do have.
Brian, thanks for noticing my Starfleet hazmat.
I just had a sweater on. I literally was just gonna John Price it and put this pin on, and then I'm like, no, man, put the goddamn extra shirt on. Give Ron Tracy his due.
I lost the magnetic pin back on the darn Desilu badge. I've got the badge still, but is there some kind of like cosplay secrets that
man, just use a washer
or something, or what? Like,
just here, I'll show you.
Like if you especially if it's anything thicker than like a pretty thin shirt, it's tough for those magnet ones to work.
Yeah. Step and a reach. This is my number 2 badge from.
Whoa. Yeah.
And so all I have to do is put
Whoa.
magnets
Whoa.
4 magnets, which the gold ones
Okay.
also can use as pips. And
Oh,
all you need is just a metal washer.
this is cosplay secrets revealed. I love it.
So yeah, if the Desilu ones have the magnet on the badge itself, right?
They're
Yeah.
the little pinback ones.
Yeah,
but
so
you
all
just
you
know what I
all you
mean?
need is a metal hardware washer. They're like 10 cents or something.
But
I
I
actually
actually I might need to add another magnet, so it's like
Yeah, okay. I mean, but that's also pretty dealable. In fact, check it out. I mean, if you guys need
Gorilla
pip,
glue.
sitting right here, all my gold pip magnets. That's a very versatile thing. I'm actually working on. John might know what's the in lower decks. What's the little P44 gun thing they have? It's like this kind of weird phaser tricorder. They point at equipment. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, the whatever. I forget. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Anyway, that's just out of reach, but I'm working on that, and I need. I'm actually fixing some magnets and washers to make the top part removable, but still,
Nice.
Anyway,
I
magnets.
have
I
a
recommend.
door court pin, but my dog ate the back of it. So yes, it's a pin, and my dog ate a pin because my dog is a brilliant, brilliant person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
That's pretty specific though. Just chewed the nail off. That's wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be misleading. He didn't eat the nail. The nail is right here. So he's very thorough in what he does.
He just broke it off with his
He just
jaw.
broke it and was like, "Oh, this
Jesus!
hurts. Let me spit it out."
Better not do that again. Hey, you got any more of them metal things?
Yeah, he is destroyed. As we all know, he's destroyed almost every single hat that I ever loved. So now he's on to pins and metal.
Dude, the way you talk about it too, it's like the beginning of a John Irving short story. My dog, I loved him, but he ate every hat I ever loved.
It's true though. It's true. I was doing an interview with folklore friends, and they're like, "Oh, what's your favorite hat?" I'm like, "Don't bring it up. My dog has eaten all the hats I love." And I don't have money to replace all of the hats all at once. Like that's ridiculous. You got to replace them one at a time.
But
they're never the same. They're never the same, Larry. They're never the same.
Dude, you want to hear? See that? That's my second wedding ring.
Uh-oh.
So, we went on our 5th anniversary, we went to Hawaii, and we went, skin diving with the turtles. And they say, take all your jewelry off. Everybody ignores this, but the second you hit the water, stuff goes flying. And I'm like, no, this is stuck on my hand. I get in the water, I go like this with my hand, and it just goes shooting off.
Nice.
And so yeah, my parents and my sister and her family were there. We had this giant family vacation, and my parents would have lost their minds. And so, because they would have said, well, you obviously don't care enough about that. Your entire marriage is a sham. We're going, I would have had to listen to that for the rest of the vacation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Mimi, of course, we've been married for 5 years or so by that point. So she's like, dude, it's all good. We're going to go before we meet them at the thing. We'll just go to some little Hawaiian store. We'll buy a little piece of silver for $15. They're old people. They're never going to notice. You wave your hands around and they'll see metal and that'll be fine. And she was completely right. And we went home, and because it was only 5 years, we went to the jewelry store, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Young, here you go. It's out of thing, but it's like another $100 more just for restocking or some shit." And I got the exact same one. It's just 5 years later.
Jewelry is not meant to be scrutinized. It's like functional. It's just like I'm spoken for this little thing.
Exactly. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
But my parents were from the symbolic nature, they were like old.
Hey, Larry, speaking of not giving a shit, didn't you have some Prodigy news for us?
Oh yeah, Star Trek news. Robert Picardo, the emergency medical hologram from Voyager, has somehow let slip that he's going to be on the Prodigy season 2 on Netflix. So I thought that was kind of cool thematically that they had hologram Janeway, and now they have real Janeway, and so season 2 they'll have real Janeway and hologram Doctor.
Yeah, Prodigy is really like a Voyager sequel more than anything else. It's pretty interesting. I still haven't seen it, but I heard it's good.
You know, I watched it. I ended up watching the whole thing, the whole first season.
Oh, okay.
And because John Sanchez is a great guy. We share so I'm like, he's just telling me I'm missing something, and I'll just I'll give it the old college try. And it's not, I don't think I missed anything, but it just wasn't for me. It's like, it wasn't bad. It's not like eggplant parmesan or anything. I don't know.
To me, I just didn't get I watched the first episode, and I like cartoons. I kind of really wanted to like it. I thought the animation was really nice, but it didn't feel connected to Star Trek almost at all from the first episode or 2 that I watched. All I watched was the first one, except Janeway showed up at the end. One. That's what it was.
Yeah, my thing is I just didn't care. There's some kids, and they're it's a adolescent wish fulfillment thing because children are powerless anyway. So let's give them a story where the leads are powerless, but then they find a ship, and then they have power, but they still must learn. And I'm like,
yeah,
I didn't like this when it was Jason of Star Command, and at least Scotty was in that.
The first few episodes that I did watch were very sort of like it felt very Star Warsy in terms of like plot and characters and everything. And I understand it definitely gets more Star Trek as they move forward. And I don't mean that as an insult. Rebels is a great show, but it's anyway so good. I'm glad Robert Picardo, most famous for being Awara Katan's father on the hit show The Orville.
Really? I thought he was most famous for being the cowboy in Inner Space.
He's also in China Beach.
Oh yeah, hey, okay. Like he's like a guy. He's just like a solid
guy.
He's a guy, He's a guy.
Hey,
doing guy things.
Fucking Bobby Picardo. He's a guy.
Yes, most famous as the cowboy in Inner Space. Yeah, God,
yes.
And that
I knew Steve would get it.
I loved that movie as a kid. I don't know if that was a hit or not, but I remember seeing it, watching it, loving it.
No, it was not a hit.
I don't think so.
That movie was great, and it was the movie that basically killed Dennis Quaid's his leading man career. Like the vibe after that movie was, hey, that guy's great, but he can't open a movie, which was a thing they said in the 80s.
Yeah,
Poor
right.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I feel bad for him.
but that's the guy you're not counting on the guy for that. That guy's like the dime store Harrison Ford, and you should just give him dime store Harrison Ford parts. And because he's the guy that turns up, he's the guy that's right in between Harrison Ford and Tom Cruise, right? He can do the like, I'm an ordinary guy in extraordinary circumstance, but check out this grid. He's just halfway in between, and nobody was writing movies for that.
And all I remember is Martin Short was pretty funny in it, and the special effects were good. Like it was like what is it, Fantastic Voyage? It was like the 80s version of Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah, the special effects were Joe Johnston. So it was half of ILM. All those guys
super good. Yeah, I remember it being high quality that way. But I was just a kid. I was just a dumb kid. But I liked it.
Cool.
Ahem. Well then, that's our Robert Picardo break.
Cool. So Kobayashi Maru. Right now, here's the thing.
Wait, that's from the episode Space Seed, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Space Seed. Yes. Quick tangent, by the way, right? One of the reasons we started the Serious Star Trek Facebook group was because we were in other Facebook groups. Well, in parentheses, we got kicked out of them. But one of the reasons we hated them is because it was all just like posting pictures of Nichelle Nichols and being like, googly eyes, be like, oh my God, she's so attractive. It's like, bro, like what? I'm more and more with like new Star Wars, and like, oh my God, isn't this new Star Wars person so attractive? Or conversely, like, oh, she's not attractive enough. And it's like, bro, you guys are just pathetic. Like, you need to like man up. You need to become real men and like look at porn like real men. Okay, like don't. Okay, there's not. Anyway, that's my tangent. That's what I've been thinking about today.
But so don't you find that super interesting? Because I'm finding that whenever I'm kind of bored, I join some new group. And so I joined the 2001 group like a month ago. I was having some funny conversations with some buddies about it. So I'm like, oh, let's go rampage in what Nancy Senkal is like. It's time for a good old fashioned lair-tastrophe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's go in here. But I was proving a marketing point, so I didn't do my usual thing. But like, it's just so funny how, like, I don't know, you get thrown out of places because you just want the conversation to go in a particular direction. And in our case, it's like, no, we assume everybody fucking knows that Khan comes from Space Seed, right?
Right.
Like, that's what you're doing here. Let's talk about this really interesting thing
Right.
about, whatever. Like I do it idiotically sometimes where, like, I'll be like, oh, there was a different kind of seam on this episode of the shirt, But like at the point of that we like a show like that, that's what you're looking at after a while, It's like, yes, oh, isn't that funny? In Omega Glory, the Bible makes the devil look like Spock, and that's yeah, okay. Like, didn't you get that when you were 12? Like, let's look at this other thing about like let's do the math on the proton packs and how many fucking people did Ron Tracy kill? That's, I don't know.
It's a lot.
That was the difference between how we like to interact with Star Trek and how like other people.
Right. Like, what's the point of being like, like, because there's a very common like formula for posting in a Star Trek group or Facebook group or whatever, where it's like you'll post a picture and it'll be like, oh, and that happens in Trek Yards all the time. Like, if you ever join the Trek Yards Facebook group, someone will be like, I don't know about you guys, but I just fucking love the original Enterprise. And it's just like a generic picture of like 1966 still frame, right? And then there's like 100 comments being like, can't beat it, best one ever. I don't like the A, and it's like, what are you people doing? Like,
dude,
to quote Shatner, like, what are you, like, get a life, man. Like, if you're gonna interact with Star Trek, at least have some sort of fan fiction going on in your head. There's another guy in Trek Yards who he just posts screenshots from Star Trek Online, but he has like this whole weird story, and it's all about like the USS Canada, and it's like he's clearly Canadian. And it's all like, yeah, Captain, fanfic name. And he's like, I'm doing this today on my starship. And everyone's like, you're a loser, Canadian.
No, dude,
and I'm like, no,
that.
That's like the guy. He's doing it right. That's the guy you should be. If you're going to do it, like, fucking do it. Don't tell me Khan was in Space Seed, you losers.
There's kind of a banality, though. Any of those groups that go big, I mean, they get really big. Some of these, I can't believe when I see the size of some of these Star Trek shit posting groups or whatever.
Oh yeah,
look at this Big Show, man. He is a funny motherfucker.
Nice, good old Big Show coming in hot.
I almost wore, when I was thinking about what to wear today, I almost put on the old red suede bomber jacket, but I thought, no, you know who owns that is Brian Schieneman. He looks like off the set in that thing. Anyway.
Oh yeah, so it came up on post. Sorry, Larry and Jacket, Red Jacket reminded me of the Ghostbusters trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I got out of that, besides going like, well, I'm glad it looks like something different, a little new, like a different. Not just a rehash of a movie we've seen before, a different kind of ghost and a different phenomenon. But then the only thing I came away with is like, Larry's getting that jacket, the red like polar jacket.
Well, do you want? I can tell you what's going to happen in 30 seconds because my kid and I already went through this.
Okay.
So freeze frame the picture. They're all wearing 4 different red jackets. So automatically it doesn't matter if you have a red winter jacket. That's great. And then the shoulder patch is on the left instead of the right, which is the undergear. And so you put a name tape and a shoulder patch on the left on any red winter jacket, you're golden.
You
But the
good?
second thing my kid was like, he doesn't even care because that's winter in New York in the summer. He wants the next one that starts with the Japanese Ghostbusters are fucking trying to stop this crazy ass, spectral tidal wave or some shit that causes real life earthquake in San Francisco, so the West Coast Ghostbusters can get activated.
Nice.
And he was just like, I don't even want this real thing. I want to write the third one. And I'm going to pitch it right now. And I was like, those guys are doing it right. Like he didn't think that after the Girl Busters one, right?
Lady Busters was no
He
good.
loves the new not Ivan Reitman. What's his kid's name? Jake?
Yeah, Reitman, whatever. Yeah.
Frank
Reitman.
Reitman.
I don't know. Whatever, his son.
Junior
But
Reitman.
he's doing it correctly because he got my kid right away.
Well, it looks like they're doing what they should be doing with all these stupid franchises and just doing the next episode of the story, right? So it's like all these stupid franchises that they keep rebooting and everything. It's like, I don't need you to reboot the same story over and over and over again. Just tell me the next version. Like just go on to the next Batman adventure. Just go on to the next Ghostbusters adventure. That's all we need. Just come out with a new Ghostbusters every fucking October and you will make $1 billion.
There's nothing anybody wanted
Agreed.
less than rebooting of the Ghostbusters. Like,
No.
you actually got Bill Murray to be in it. Like, he didn't have to be his character. He didn't have to be the star of the movie anymore. But you got him to agree. So, like, I don't know, blown opportunity. But it doesn't matter anymore. They're like, who cares? We're on to the next one.
Yeah.
They write these things now. Perfect segue, because they write these things, they produce them, it's finished, it's in the can, and then they decide we're going to throw it away, like John Cena's Coyote movie.
What's that?
Yeah.
You guys, you know about that, right? Like they have the whole Coyote versus
Star Trek guys.
Oh, well, this is pretty big. It's James Gunn co-wrote this Coyote versus Acme movie.
Oh.
It was the Coyote of Coyote and Roadrunner with John Cena. He's like,
I thought you meant like Mexican drug cartel Coyote.
No.
Okay, all right, I'm on board.
Coyote and Roadrunner. It was an animated, like Roger Rabbit style thing.
Nice.
That they worked on it for 2 years. It was done, completed, and Warner Brothers has decided they're not going to release it.
That's awesome.
But then supposedly, because of fan backlash, I don't know, or whatever, they're going to allow the company's going to shop it to another distributor. But Warner Brothers is not going to release it and was planning to just say no.
Dude, the studios are so stupid. This is why the strike. This is why I wish the strike just went on forever. Because if Hollywood just collapsed, I don't think anyone would really be that sad. Well, I mean, the people in it would be sad, but like us normal people would just be like, okay.
None of the stuff though that people follow has any bearing on the final product, and it all changes the next day anyway. So like, I don't know. I think everyone's doing themselves a disservice if they're going, oh yeah, everybody got paid, right? Like John Cena doesn't care.
No, he cares. And a lot of the people who worked on the effects and the crew and stuff, they're like, dude, we shut down the freeway for a week and did all this live action stuff, did all these effects, put 2 years of our lives into this thing, and it's being just scrapped. They're calling the studio, they're saying is anti-art. I don't know what they said, what the quote was.
So what though? This is the part I don't get. How does that impact the fan in any way?
Well, they want to see it.
Well, I hope it's just true to the source material.
Right.
You know?
That's what I meant. To me, it's a sign that it probably was not that good. Like, I can't imagine it being so awesome and them going just totally writing it off.
Yeah.
Although it's supposed to
Steve's got some info. They're
Solid
not totally
text
writing
right
off if they're selling it to somebody else.
Yeah, they're gonna sell it to another studio, make a profit. I don't know.
Great.
Right
that's
off.
what
Best of luck to everyone.
that's what
involved.
Paramount did with Prodigy. They canceled it after it was done and then just
Yes.
sold it off to Netflix.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So in
They're
that
all
scenario,
scumbags.
in
They
that
all went to
scenario, the
Michigan.
fan should not and does
Hashtag Team Captain Fun right there. They got paid. Whatever. That's
well, no. I
if
mean,
you ever hang out with creative people, that whole part of your soul that you want people to like your thing goes away the second you start talking deadlines and you can't pay your rent unless you hit your deadline. And then all of a sudden it's not your baby anymore. That's just how it goes. And so actors are that times a million, especially somebody like John Cena, who's like got to the point where like that motherfucker goes to 240 like Make-A-Wish things a year, which is insane, and still does, his job of, acting and promoting it and everything. So like it doesn't come out. That's kind of like above his pay grade at that point. You know what I
he
mean?
gets so much. Yeah, he's insulated from that in every way. Although I got to imagine you work on something for a couple of years, you want to see it come out and have it. But in this case, I think you're right, because if they do just sell it to another studio for releasing, then it's all just paperwork shuffling behind the scenes. To the fan, I don't care as long as it comes out.
But I don't even care if it comes out or not, because it's like there's so much shit coming out. Like, all right, yeah, John Cena movie with Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Well,
it's not coming out.
Yeah.
Oh well, like there's 19 other things that I want to watch now.
Can I just go back to what Bjorn said up here? And he said they basically turn Ghostbusters into CSI, and I really hope it's not meant as a dig, because that's exactly what we all want.
Yes, that's what I want.
Just give us CSI Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
that's it. I will watch every single one of those goddamn movies for the rest of the time.
And
that's
then you have Ghostbusters Avengers, where the Great Lakes Ghostbusters show up
with the West Coast Ghostbusters.
Yes, please give me that.
New Orleans Ghostbusters.
Right? Why are we not there now? Or like one of the New Orleans ghosts like ends up in Chicago, and they have to call the New Orleans guys because this is one of your guys, man. We can't handle this guy. And then all of a sudden, yes.
I mean, just segueing into what Gons 216 says, where he says, what happened with the rumored JJ Trek 4? They should just do that with fucking Star Trek. Just make a new Star Trek. Don't get all up your ass about, we have to get the perfect Kirk and we have to reboot the franchise and we have to do this, we have to do that. Just give me a goddamn adventure story in space with cool ships that don't look like they belong in Star Trek Discovery. That's it.
And how about less ships and
less ships
and more something else?
The best Star Trek movie, Star Trek 4, has a shitty bird of prey in about 15 seconds of the whole film.
True.
There's no antagonist. It's just them fucking hanging out with whales. What's like Star Trek? Don't overthink it, you idiots. Don't overthink it. And they're overthinking it, and it sucks. And I hate Kurtzman.
I'll bet you if you look at the ratio of the budget spent to the success of the Star Trek film, that's got to be maybe way up there.
Oh, that one? Absolutely, yeah.
Just because that's what killed it was to make.
That's what killed Star Trek Beyond, because Beyond had some of the best critical reviews after Into Darkness is the worst movie ever put on film. And so, but the problem is the budget was so damn high, it made like this amount of profit, and it wasn't enough. They were like, well, we can't keep doing this. And I'm like, that's awesome. I love the special effects in that movie. However, just don't have them, or just cut the special effects in half. Tell the same goddamn story. It's Star Trek. Nobody gives a shit if you show up in a cave. Like, nobody cares. It doesn't have to be the sexiest cave ever invented. Like, you don't have to reimagine what transporting looks like. They did it in the 80s. They did it in the 60s. Just fucking do it, man.
Nobody cares. It really is like you could use just the subtlest, simplest transporter effect now. Nobody would care or miss it if it wasn't a ultra fancy. There's many things where they could trim effects budgets, but the stories, the plots are so
and to bring it back to your favorite writer's strike, the for this because they're the ones who aren't fucking putting in good stories.
Yeah.
Like, how many movies have good stories? And I don't want to hear that, oh, well, they're being told stories. The point is they're not doing good stories. There are some shows that are awesome. There's some shows that are shit. Everybody likes the ones that are shit. The ones that are awesome to get canceled. So fuck me. I don't know.
Can I just say before we get too far away from it, the thing about the transporter that they do understand, the transporter effects.
Well, I think that the movie The Transporter, that's a great movie.
Agreed. In fact, this would work for my mashup. But like the thing about the transporter effect and also Jason Statham's film is that 3/4 of it is the sound, right?
Yeah,
like as long as the sound is right,
agreed.
Yeah,
the fans will go, yeah, okay.
Show me the engineer pushing 3 buttons.
Yeah,
give me the
slide,
and all of a sudden you hard cut to them on. God damn it.
Sound design. I've never seen anything like in depth on the sound design of original series because the effects, those noises they make, like I don't know how to do it now. And I have a fancy computer and I have digital signal processing. It's very, very difficult to make sounds like as cool as they had going on then. There was traditional Foley, but then there was also a weird electronic stuff going on. I'd like to learn more.
I imagine
Brian Shaneman wants to do an Excelsior show with a new crew. Shoot me a DM. We can tag team this fanfic into
let's make that happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen. We can fucking make this happen.
We're gonna have to use.
Because I got ideas, man. I got fucking ideas.
No.
You can't use the Monster Maroons though; it's too expensive. You have to use the Strange New Worlds ones, but because our budget is just nothing, right? But we will make this happen.
No, everyone
has to.
It's an Excelsior. It's like it's the B-29 of the Constitution is the B-17. It's the bomber jacket, dude. We are making this happen.
Okay,
Shane,
well.
Wait,
you have a bomber jacket, right? Do you have the bomber coming?
I don't have one officially, unless someone I know has bought one for me.
All right, so
but no.
I don't know if the science officer is within earshot, but you know the whole prop trick of this, right? Is that the way you get away with this is get one of your buddies who needs something that you can get him, and he gets something you want, and then you guys do a trade. Like, honey, John had this thing that I wanted just laying around, and I just got him the suede bomber jacket thing because that was like an even trade. And then everybody is not lying.
Guys, you know what? Every time you super chat this show, the money goes to speeding up John's connection. So that's what we're doing as a fundraiser. It's actually we're throttling John's opinions right now. They're too explosive. They're too hot for the internet. But you can change that.
I think my internet's fine today. I don't see the problem, but apparently it's a problem.
I just love that you guys don't know that's Hector. Guns 216.
Anonymity.
Is Sagasak here today? I hope he's okay.
He's here.
Yeah. He's been very porgy quiet today. Anyway, Star Trek. Oh my God. What was the other big thing? Oh, I'm just so not down with this whole this thing that I don't know if it's just me or if this has been going on for a while or I'm just seeing it, but there's this whole like inspirational poster shit, Star Trek stuff that's going on. It's like if somebody's working on their social media and they don't know what to say, they'll say something like, "Oh, what breathlessly like what is it about Star Trek that inspires you?" It's sort of like the dumb Jonathan Livingston Seagull version of that spacey bullshit you were talking about, John. Like, oh, I love the Enterprise. It's like, oh, Star Trek inspired me to like my black neighbor. It's just stuff like that. It's like, holy shit, everyone. Star Trek inspired me to like like TV. You know,
True.
oh, this is the kind of stuff like Twilight Zone, Wild Wild West, Star Trek. This is the kind of stuff that you can get in this format. That's kind of cool. I enjoy words and pictures juxtaposed. Anyway, Sega Sag's on my side. I saw that today and rolled my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know
Well,
what
Larry,
inspires me?
What
John
else
Price.
did you? I want to hear your Marvels review.
It was great. My review of the movie is like sort of, I don't know, I'm bummed out because of the discussion in social media about
The
it.
discourse is awful about
It's just
it, right?
100% misogynist, racist going.
Okay, I'm with you.
What? I don't know. It's just a bad movie. And it's like, well, no, it's not, pal. It's bad if you don't like women and women of color and fucking Nick Fury's comic relief. The thing that kills me, why I'm fucking sick of it, is because all these, it's the same. I start paying attention to who's saying what. It's not, you can't just go fans like this and fans like that.
Absolutely.
Because mass media does that, and at best, it's always a third. I was going to say at best it's 50-50, but it's not. It's always a third. They're like a third of the audience loves it, a third of the audience hates it, and a third doesn't really even know what you're talking about and is wondering why these two guys are having a fight. But that's nuanced, right? Nobody can write headlines to that. And so it bums me out because it's the same people in my feed anyway going, Nick Fury was so atonal and limp-dicked in Secret Invasion. And now in this, he's a 100% comic relief. But in both of those projects, it was clearly Nick Fury. It was just something different was going on. So the character responded differently. But everybody thinks Marvel movies. And it's like, man, they're not. Marvel movies aren't a genre.
Totally.
The
right.
Marvel movies are putting a Marvel character in another genre of movie. Literally every single one of them was like that. And so this one is like, they're all like, oh, it's performing below expectations. It's never going to get this money. It's like, you're full of fucking dog shit. The people who say that have no understanding of what they're talking about. Because this one guy says to me, well, look at it compared to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I'm like, absolutely not. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the third movie of a beloved series of character getting their final bow. Fucking entire planet is going to that movie. This movie is conceived of a smaller B character team that's doing some character shit to get us to Secret Wars. Expecting those two movies to be the same fucking performance level is asinine, and it makes me angry.
It's easier to stay home for this one, and it's just easier in general for any Marvel movie. If you're a Disney Plus subscriber, you know that if you don't see it in the movies, you're going to get it for free. Like it's just going to show up and it's going to be on your TV pretty soon in today's, release cycles. So
I'm just not there yet, even because you're talking about how people are going to watch it, and there's plenty of days to watch it. Yeah, this fucking movie is going to make $500 million eventually, but nobody gets that because they're all like, hey, it's 2015, right? And if you don't make half your money back on opening weekend, you're fucked. It's a loser movie. And it's like, I'm just tired of explaining it to people. So I just like, 1 + 1 = 5. Good luck, everybody. Because no one pays attention to what's in front of them. It's all what they think is going to get click-throughs. All right, cool.
Yeah, you guys, Film Threat. You remember Film Threat magazine?
I do.
So that guy has turned into, in modern years, what's his name? Chris Gore.
Chris Gore, yeah.
Chris Gore, yeah.
So he is the number one. He's put out, since that movie come out, there have been like 10 videos about why Ms. Marvel sucks. And he is the number one. He has turned into the biggest proponent. Like he's the anti-Captain Fun in many senses on these things. And it gets depressing, man, because I kind of liked that magazine back in the day, and I thought it was, but it's so clear. This is like a feeding frenzy for those people who make money on that side of the content wall. They're like, oh yes, this is it. They're making red meat out of it. The thing I wanted to know, we all predicted kind of what it would take to get to the next one last time. We said the cross. I'm not going to spoil anything, even though the end credits sequence got leaked. You know what I thought of though, Larry, where they missed a potential crossover is there's another female character with Marvel in their name, but they never use her name. I don't even know if she's known by that name in any of the movies that have come out, but they never do Marvel Girl. You know what I mean? It's always been somewhere along the line, like she turned into Jean Grey years ago, but she had the name like Marvel Girl, and she had that sexy costume. I always loved Jean. I always thought it was the best. I thought that would have been a cool way to go like, oh, this is Marvel Girl, and tie in a fourth Marvel female.
Well, you haven't seen this one, right?
No, but I did see the spoiler of I know what happened. I saw the end credit scene.
Okay. I don't want to ruin it for people.
Well, yeah.
Cool stuff.
I think
the end credit scene isn't the big reveal of that movie. It's the last scene before the credits. That's the big deal.
Oh, okay. That I definitely haven't seen. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
No, the cool thing is the people who like this movie aren't telling people that. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Because I've heard actually most of the reviews I've seen of like actual humans that I know that have seen the movie are like, yeah, it was good. Really liked it. Thoroughly enjoyable.
It completely did what it was supposed to do. That was my favorite review. The super cool comedian Adam Freeman said, it did what I expected it to do. And I was like, and he's a dad with daughters. And so sometimes that if you're getting that guy, you're fine.
And I gotta say, kudos to Marvel for being like forward thinking enough to be able to build, because there are a lot of young girl Marvel fans from the movies. It's like maybe they read some comics or whatever, but like I know kids in this neighborhood and kids that I knew that grew up since I've moved to this town. And like they're really into it in a way that I wouldn't have expected.
We had a couple of Captain Marvel hot topic preteens at Halloween. So that was cool. It's so funny. Like coming to my house as a Halloween person. You need to have made your own thing or have me not get what you are for me to be impressed. But just somebody like, oh, hey, I'm 12 and I got my uncle to buy me this at Hot Topic. I'm like, no, you get one piece of candy.
And I like this too, because I've always said this, like, if you read comics, you know that the tone can vary drastically from comic to comic and creator to creator. And that I felt was Feige's strength in doing these is to not have a house style per se to the movies, but to like hire directors for their strengths, let them do their thing. Sometimes it's an out of the park home run. Sometimes it's whatever.
Here's the thing that if we're really fixated on talking about this, I urge for everyone to do who cares. Go onto YouTube after this and Google the scene Friend of Yours, The Marvels, and watch that 3.5 minute clip. And if you think that's not for you, then don't go see the movie. But that entire scene from beginning to end is the entire movie. And you're like, what the fuck? How is this energy level? How is this storytelling? How did they do all this for fucking an hour and 45 minutes? It's a super efficient story. There's the thing about all the dumb shit that all the fanboys think they know stuff because they read something on Deadline about how the director kicked off 2.5 weeks early to go do another film doesn't fucking matter one fucking bit. You cannot tell me that fucking Dave, the Olive Garden fry cook in the back, can see what an editing choice that some fucking VFX editor made, where this thing has got to go 5 seconds longer because the director who's off on another shoot didn't leave me enough time to do coverage. You do not know that. Unless you're sitting right there, you don't know what happened. And I think if a director of this kind of thing, no director does that on a studio film, but Marvel's isn't a studio film anymore, right? It's a Disney money-making machine. And so somebody comes in and goes, here's all my choices. I did the casting. Here's the story. Here's how it went. There's like 10% with fucking giant robots and shit, but I trust you guys with that shit. And she goes off and fucks off and does her own thing. That's how it is now. All these fucking people think that, like, oh, this movie flopped. Like, you started saying that at 3:00 Saturday afternoon. Fuck you, people.
I mean,
that's all I got.
There
about
was a big
Marvel.
expectation because, like a hoping for it because it wasn't testing well. There was all this stuff coming out where it was testing okay. Expectations were going down, but like the long tail on these things and kind of the brilliance again of Feige and the way these come out is it doesn't even matter if one underperforms because it's part of this like basket of woven together things that are stronger than any one individual movie. They're gonna there's still a lot of room left to make a lot.
Price, do you care about this shit? Because I actually have one more marketing thing to say about this. It's not.
I mean, you do you, King. You know.
I'm just saying that, like, it doesn't seem like inclusive, but there's this thing in marketing. You know, the whole like time, money, quality, pick any two. There's also a thing about the wheel of blame in promotions and marketing, and there's always something that has gone wrong, right? And it's kind of a joke where you can do a spin of like Wheel of Fortune wheel and pull up like whatever that blame is, and a guy who knows what's going on can riff for 20 minutes about why it's that. You know what I mean? And it gets to be kind of a joke because the answer is it's a whole bunch of everything, right? And so these motherfuckers going, oh, this movie is a flop when it's been out for 36 hours. Like, what is that based on, right? Well, this other marketing shit that's all fucking smoke and mirrors anyway. It's tracking to make 60 million. Well, yeah, okay, but that's all like actuaries. And that's not like, did you see Brie Larson's showing some belly? She looks pretty hot. Or, man, that Indian girl's fucking just ripped scenes away from Samuel L. Jackson, who's an accomplished actor. That's pretty cool. And like this really makes a lot of sense for some stuff that I heard about the Skrulls, and wow, they did the whole Kree Skull war kind of off camera. If you just fucking go see the movie and keep your mouth fucking shut instead of say all this shit that you're just reading from other people who don't know their fucking ass from their elbow either. It's like it's social media, man. We were all not supposed to know what everybody was thinking about everything at all times. We just weren't supposed to.
Yeah. You know what's weird is too, though, now the way movies make money too over time has changed so much. It's even hard for me to understand. Like, because it used to be they would have a box office, then there'd be like the whole DVD window, and that would come out, and there'd be box sets and extended editions, and that's kind of gone now. So it's kind of like, what do? They license it, but then if the studio itself owns it, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's all sort of like just baked into the pie of their streaming service now.
But that's what annoys me. It's like listening to people talk about Star Trek who've never seen it. It's like the whole thing is fucking different now. So you guys are all talking like it's 2015. And I don't know if you've been paying fucking attention, but these things have acid for blood. And there's just been a fucking strike for fucking 188 days. The people that are going to do the jobs over the holidays can't buy their kids presents now because they haven't been working. Like, and you're like, oh, there's a girl movie with you fucking people are out of your fucking mind.
Well,
like
the other thing too is I was looking at this. It was the #1 movie at the box office this week as well. Like, so compared to everything else you could go see, it was a low week in general for the box office. There wasn't a lot of new competition for it, but it was definitely #1. There's some juggernauts, man. That Taylor Swift thing keeps going. Barbie keeps going. Oppenheimer keeps going. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
I think we should have more female captains. Vote Price.
I think
so. Then you're in part of that fan movement for the Jerry Ryan return with Jack Crusher.
Please don't.
That's right.
No. Ooh, that's the cool new transporter effect.
I like that.
Thanks for,
I like that.
thanks for putting that on the show.
I don't know how to turn it off. I spent about 10 minutes today trying to turn this shit off. I have no idea how to turn it off.
Oh, it just does that?
Yes, it just does.
Not to
I
me.
did.
See?
It's watched. Something is watching us and judging us.
That's what Captain Fun says. No, you know
awesome.
what? They can
Who's
take
gonna
that
do this
Star Trek
forever?
Legacy thing and fuck their dead
Star Trek
mother.
Legacy is a horrible idea for a whole bunch of reasons. But
Dude,
like I said about Ghostbusters, just moving forward with a new Star Trek is an awesome idea. It's working for Star Wars. They're just doing new Star Wars adventures. Just do new Star Trek adventures. It doesn't have to be Jerry Ryan and Picard's robot baby. Like, it can just be anybody. Just fucking any
Picard's
ship.
robot baby.
Just put a
That would be
little
awesome.
fucking ship.
Can I just tell?
Okay.
Here's the thing, dude. You don't even have to go nuts. Here's the thing. Star Trek Legacy is anti-Star Trek because Star Trek is to boldly go where no one has gone before. Legacy is the fucking opposite of that, right? Oh, look at this fucking albatross of history that we've got us weighed down by. Fuck you. Fuck them. Fuck Terry Metalis. Fuck everybody who wants that fucking shit, because that's not Star Trek. Star Trek is you get a ship and you go fucking out there that away. First star to the left, fucking go watch a Star Trek. I don't know why everybody got me all wound up today. I was perfectly excited to talk about.
He's right. The word legacy sucks for a Star Trek show.
Right. Fuck you.
To both tying all of your points together. Star Trek is not about looking backwards. It's about going forward. Stop with the prequels. Cancel Strange New Worlds. Cancel Discovery. Cancel it all. Put me in charge. Put me in charge.
Cancel
of
it all
Star
and
Trek.
put John in charge. I agree with that.
Well,
cancel it all. Put John in charge.
I will work for very cheap.
To me, Strange New Worlds, it'll be kind of make or break, because they kind of where I was in cautiously for season 1, season 2, they took a lot of chances and maybe a few too many for me. Got a little goofy, goofier overall as the number of episodes, and considering there's less episodes, it's just made it a goofier show in general. So I wonder if they will balance that out a little bit, maybe for the next season.
Do you guys hear that?
It's the red alert.
Do you guys hear the red alert sound?
I do.
Do I?
Not to
Do I?
false flag us here, but
wait, that sound means
that's the sound.
we're out of time. We got to get out of here. We'll be back probably next week. I don't know, dude. Thanksgiving week. Well, let's touch base and see, make sure everybody's got time. Stuff. My wife is gonna be out of town. Blah 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 blah. We'll be back next time, and we'll leave you with how do I get rid of this? We'll leave you with, I don't know. Oh yeah, the new Disney is trying out has decided to start using AI, but they're going to start using it for their audiences. So we'll leave you with a little video clip of that, I think, if I can find it. But we'll be back sooner or later. If it's not next week, it'll be the week after that. It'll be 3 p.m. It'll be Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Earth time, that is. But Captain Fun, where do you think that's going to be? Oh, sorry.
Wrong Captain.
Sorry, Captain Fun. Where do
Neutral zone.
you think that's going to be?
On the internet.
Using AI audiences. The best part about it is that they all clap. Oh. No. No.
What is that?
This
That's disgusting.
That's frightening.
guys, I got to play this again. So even with the sound off. So this was the background of a movie called Prom Pact on Disney, and somebody caught in just this couple of panels, they substituted in some fake extras in like the second row of the set. And
It's actually better to have little puppets than it is to have two guys who need a sandwich. That's insane.
so anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.